Ella Green, and for today's broadcast, we'll be focusing on the crisis of the Second Indochina War. 5 years after the First Indochina War ended in 1954, a second war broke out between the Vietnamese nationalists and the U.S. between 1959 and 1975. The U.S. sided with South Vietnam and the Viet Cong, also known as North Vietnam, and they began assassinating officials and attacking government buildings in the South. The cause of assassinations by the Viet Cong led to the effects of many deaths of government officials from roughly 700 to 4,000. The Viet Cong won the peasants' support because of the lack of humanity from the Diem government. Currently in South Vietnam, we have our fellow reporter Jasmine Liu witnessing the first-hand effects of the war. Good morning, Jasmine. How has the political tensions affected everyday life there in Vietnam?
Good morning, Ella. Yes, so many peasant families have felt the detriments of war right at home. To deprive the Viet Cong of its bases, the U.S. and South Viet government tried to isolate the peasant population by moving villages to places that could easily be policed by the Army of the Republic of Vietnam. These new settlements were known as strategic hamlets, which were supposed to have new facilities in electricity. However, the peasants resented moving from their homes, which had strong connections to their ancestors. Day 2, reporting from a small village in Vietnam, I have Chow Lee, a woman who survived through the Second Indochina War, and her translator on bow. So Chow Lee, how has it been living in South Vietnam as a female Buddhist? What challenges have you faced?
Tôi làm việc cả ngày rồi sau mấy người này cứ nói chuyện với tao.
She says that being Buddhist has affected her daily life because when the government was under Diem, they were being persecuted, and South Vietnam is 90% Buddhist, but the minority, the Catholics, were in power, so they really discriminated the Buddhists and even led one of the priests to burn himself alive as a way to show his dislike of this South Vietnamese government.
Okay. And how has the Viet Cong versus the South Vietnam government narrative play out? Who, in your mind, is the better cause to support?
Tôi làm việc cả ngày. Tao không biết mày. Mày đi về.
The South Vietnamese government has been moving the villagers out of their original villages for a long time, and moving out of their ancestors' land and moving them into strategic hamlets because they're afraid that the Viet Cong has been working with these villagers. And she says that these strategic hamlets promise to be really good and really nice, even though they've failed to fulfill their promises. So the villagers are really sided towards the Viet Cong because they care more about the villagers and the people, whereas Diem's government, the South Vietnamese government, they really just care more about protecting them from the Viet Cong.
How do all the events in the war impact how you currently live? Or are you able to have a home now?
Cái này là nhà tôi. Mày có nhìn thấy không?
She says, look at all this land. It's all hers now.
So after the war has ended, many families, over 50,000 families in South Vietnam, received land because President Thieu wanted to reduce the support of the Viet Cong, and now Chow Lee is one of the peasants who received land, as we can see here. Now, thank you for your interview. Okay, back to Ella.
Thank you, Jasmine. Great job reporting back from Vietnam. We'll see you guys next week.